Jim Bob, we saw obviously JT have a huge performance, over 200 yard total offense by himself. On that jump cut that he had, you have a defender coming and he just makes a miss. Obviously, you don't draw it up for that guy to come like that, but what is it like to have a player and a back in particular that can make you right on some plays, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, it's a great trait for a running back to have, right? Get in a little bit of space and have a one-on-one opportunity and make the most of it, right? Make that guy miss or there's a lot of different tricks or ways these running backs can attack that situation. But to be able to sort of make that first defender miss and go get a bunch more yards after that is a really key trait for playing running back at a high level and making a whole bunch of yards. And JT's really good doing that. I think when defenses sort of take a look at our offense, shoot, they're definitely going to be aware when 28's in the backfield and where he's aligning and what kind of runs he's running and what kind of pass routes he's catching and all that stuff. He's been a weapon around here for a long time and goes about his business the right way. Puts a bunch of work in to get better each year. And glad he was able to have a big day the other day and have all that payoff.
And then one quick follow up. What have you seen from him this year in pass protection in particular?
Yeah, it's another aspect. Like JT's a veteran player, and veteran players work on different aspects of their game. And I've seen him put a lot of work in on a lot of different aspects of his game, pass protection, route running, receiving, just all that stuff, which is a great trait for him to have. He's putting the work in on getting better at that stuff, whether it's reps against other guys. It could just be detailed fundamental work with our running back coach, Coach DeAndre Smith. Uh, JT's putting the work in and it's paying off. Shoot, he did a great job in the game. They kept blitzing those linebackers and, maybe more than expected. We knew that was a defense that was going to bring some pressure, so we weren't expecting zero, but gosh, they just kept bringing them over and over and over. And, from time to time as a running back, you're called into duty to step up, pick that blitz up, and JT did a nice job of that several times, which let Daniel have enough time in the pocket to get that ball to spread around to our other receivers.
Joel.
Um, the distribution of passes where it's, 6-4-4-4. Obviously, that's not going to happen every game, but is that just kind of an illustration of what you guys have on the outside?
Yeah, I think it's a real good thing for an offense in the passing game to have multiple threats out there, right? A lot of times, obviously, you have five eligible receivers. Many times in this league, you might have one or two checking pass protection before they run their routes, but there's usually three or four guys running full speed routes from the get go, and you want that defense to really think, we got to cover every one of these guys as they're running their initial route. When the ball gets spread around like that, I think it makes them do that, which makes everybody more effective, and that's really good for an NFL pass game. Daniel has done a really nice job of spreading the ball around, finding those completions, working through progressions, sort of taking advantage of defensive looks when needed. And it's been good. Guys have had their number called in different areas, and guys have had a great attitude about it. Sometimes when the ball does get spread around, it might take a quarter or two before you get your first one, but then all of a sudden you get three or four in a row real quick. So it's a good trait, I think, for a passing offense to have multiple passing threats, or receiving threats, I should say. And shoot, we'll look for all those guys to make an impact on games moving forward, but every game will be a little bit different.
JJ.
Jim Bob, is it different, like learning stuff about a quarterback when he's under pressure in a game that he can actually get hit in versus practice when he's got like a red jersey on?
That's a good question. I do think you learn a lot about quarterbacks in live action. You know, Rightly so in this league, we really protect our quarterbacks during practice, right? It's like you said, the red jersey, it's non-contact, it's defensive linemen staying away from the quarterback. That's every sort of team in this league, every offense in this league that I know of anyway. We want to keep those guys as healthy as we can as we go through that process. But it does change a little bit when the you are going to get sacked, you are going to get hit, you are going to get sort of rolled around, or you are going to sort of maybe make a guy miss and go make a play. That's when some of that live action quarterbacking becomes real. We do learn a lot about guys. Ultimately, we're doing what we can do to give those guys the best chance to have success on a Sunday. So the more we can learn about how they're going to play on those Sundays, the better we can structure the offense and structure things around them to go have that success. And you learn about every quarterback in this league in those situations. And as we're sort of going from game one to game two and game two to game three with Daniel here, we'll keep learning about him and try to keep doing the best thing we can do for our team, for our offense, and surrounding him with the right type of schemes that'll help him go have success.
What did he then show you, Jim Bob, on the second play of the game where he kind of avoids pressure to his right, steps up, and he's got a guy in his face, to the left, but he's able to make that throw to Downs with accuracy, pretty deep downfield there.
Yeah, that was some throw. That was some impressive throw, man. Another one, that's a hard one to rep. You guys watch Coach Cam Turner's drills over there every day in practice. I'm not sure we could whack him with a bag hard enough to get a real rep of that throw. So it's something that I think is great to see. Obviously, one heck of a play. Nice catch on that one as well by Pitt, I believe. But good to see guys go out and play ball. And these guys love playing football. They love getting out there and playing real live action football. They work real hard in practice so that they can go do things like that and go sort of have their opportunity to make that throw. So we'll keep working them in practice. We're probably not going to whack them with a big old hard bag as hard as those defenders will hit them. But great to see and really fun to see it.
We'll do a couple more here. Lara.
First off, for you, Jim Bob, you talked about obviously having, multiple weapons and the way that Daniel works the ball around. Daniel spoke last week just about the unselfishness of the group in general. How unique is that across an offense, not even just within the receivers, but then you have guys like Jonathan and Tyler within that mix as well?
Yeah, I think it's really, really key to offensive unit success in this league and probably team success as well, right? To have 11 guys out there playing for each other who are just as happy when their buddy catches a touchdown as when they catch a touchdown or when they're able to block for, hey, my buddy just caught the ball and I'm going to get a block out front, or they handed the ball to JT and I'm blocking the safety right here. Our guys take real pride in the team aspects of offensive football, and that leads into good offensive football, right? There might be things that don't show up on the stat sheet or you don't get your fantasy football owners aren't happy about. But they're great for the team. They're great for the Colts. We're lucky to have the types of guys that we do who are really unselfish with how they play team-oriented football and go out there and try to win each game and celebrate with each other and sort of celebrate each other's accomplishments. Because one week it might be, your buddy having the huge game. The next week it might be you, and then the week after that it might be a third guy, and then on we go. So it's important in this game that we're all working together and all sort of playing team football, and our guys are so great about doing that. It's been really a pleasure to coach.
And one quick follow-up too. I know that one thing you reiterated early on in this season collectively as a coaching staff was really creating an edge, starting the season with that sense of urgency. It's, you kind of channel that a lot week one and week two, then you got to figure out ways to sustain it over the course of the season. In terms of carrying a bit of an edge, is there anyone better than Michael Pittman Jr. with that?
Yeah, that's a great thing to notice. Yeah, Pitt plays with toughness, edge. You talk about somebody that loves football. Michael Pittman Jr. He loves playing football. He'll block a safety. He'll make a catch over the middle. He'll help a teammate out of a scrum and maybe get a little involved himself, but not too involved. He loves kind of mixing it up out there with the guys. That's why he's had the career that he's had, is because of the work that he's put in and his love of football. He brings toughness. He brings edge every snap he's in there. No doubt about it.
Appreciate it.
And last question, Chap.
Yeah, Jim Bob, with all you've seen from Tyler Warren since he got here, and I guess even in college, what convinced you that he could hold up in protection against Benito? I mean, there were times you had him on Benito.
Well, he's working everything. He's a young tight end, and as a tight end, we sort of evaluate. I think I said this way back when we drafted him, but we evaluate tight ends sort of as blockers, and that could be a run blocker, which a lot of guys do in college quite a bit. That could be pass protection. Sometimes you can't find a lot of reps of that, and then receiving. And then with Tyler, obviously, he threw it a few times and he ran it a few times, so we evaluated all that as well. But he's just a really uniquely talented guy and plays the game with a headiness and an awareness that allows him to take on a task and work on improving at it, work on getting good at it. And I think he would tell you he's not a finished product at a lot of these things right now, but he's working like crazy and able to go out there and have success, whether he's got to, sort of do a really important blocking job or sort of team up with one of his teammates. And those guys are working a little bit of a 2-on-1 on a defensive end or something. He's able to go do all that stuff, work and improve his craft. He's just going to get better and better at this as he goes. And as you're able to, pass protect or run block, all the stuff that those tight ends do, it tends to open you up a little bit in the pass game as well, because the defense doesn't always key in on you as an immediate pass route, sort of releasing quick on a pass route guy. They think, well, he's probably blocking again. Then all of a sudden you're out there making that catch. So the more you can do at the tight end position, the more versatile, the more successful you can be overall, and we can be as an offense. So he's doing a really nice job. We're real pleased to have him.